in all seriousness,
Yeah.
my dad used the space shuttle in correlation of slalom skiing. And he somehow figured out, okay, S turns, energy, space shuttle, glider, Bob LaPoint, Chrissy Overton, hand on the hip, a little bit aggressive like Waycox. Just a few things that he kind of put together, and he kept it very, very, very simple. Even though my dad's pretty much a rocket scientist,
Pretty much.
he kept it so simple, and he always just talked about energy.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Water Ski Podcast, or welcome to the Water Ski Podcast if it's your first time stumbling around this little project. The purpose of this whole thing is to promote water skiing, so far primarily through the voices of people in the sport, although other things will be coming your way if you decide to stick around and listen to more episodes. Thank you so much for the support, both in terms of donations and in terms of reviews on iTunes and subscribing to the podcast on your favorite platform. Keep that up. Tell your friends. And if you have time to write a review in between these holiday meals, I would really appreciate that. This episode is, and I promised him I would say that, is a Chris Parrish episode. So this is an interview that I did with Chris Parrish during a weekend at the boarding school. I was in Orlando for the weekend, and me and Chris met. We skied together there, and then we sat down and chatted. And wow, what a nice time. CP really opened up, told me about his early days and some of his successes and the fire that is fueling him to ski again, and what motivates him to keep pushing it, what motivates him to continue to try new skis and stay involved in the sport at a very, very competitive level. I mean, we're talking about a 3-time world record holder, multiple-time Masters champion, multiple-time Moomba Masters champion. This is, doesn't get any better than this, honestly. Just taking the opportunities to say happy holidays to everyone. If you are in the southern hemisphere or somewhere where it's cold, it's warmer, I should say, than where I am right now, well, turn a few buoys for me too. Enjoy the interview and stay tuned for the next one in about a couple of weeks' time. All right, well, CP.
What's up, brother?
Thank you so much for joining me, man.
Man, thank you for having me. I'm really excited. This is awesome, dude.
Been looking forward to this interview, How are you doing?
Man, I feel great.
Feel good?
I have a resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been this excited about skiing in a long time, and I'm really excited.
Sweet.
Obviously, we both ski on the Omega together.
Yep.
I'd probably say that had a little bit to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got on the 67 in the middle of summer.
Yep.
But I feel great, man.
Sweet. You been skiing much?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot, yeah.
Which is, this interview is going to come out in a few weeks after we record this. So it's November 23rd, and you've been skiing a lot.
Which is crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. I told a couple pros, I'm like, where did this come from? I was like kind of joking, where was this earlier this year?
Right.
But you know what? I can't change the past, and I'm enjoying where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And it's been awesome.
Great. One of the things, and I asked this to everyone, but how did you get into this? Water skiing. How do you stumble upon the sport? How did you start?
Pretty cool story. So my father was in the Air Force, and his sergeant got him into water skiing, into slalom. And I was born at Eglin Air Force Base, and I started skiing. I think my parents pulled me on the shore at 18 months old,
Right.
And then by 2, I was in the Cypress Gardens finals in the show. It
What?
was, no, I'm serious. It was
Wow.
I had no idea.
Okay.
And just to add to that, we have the cassette tape of I'm waving to the crowd with my 2 skis, the rope and handles tied to the skis. And I got my little puppy on there, and I'm waving to the crowd, and my mom's in the boat, and I won't stop waving, and the driver's trying to stop. My mom has to pull me out of the skis. And then I get in the stand, and Rick and Lori Powell made the finals as well, the legendary barefooters. And I was waving at them, and they thought when they would cheer for them, I thought it was me, so I'm waving at people. 2 years old.
Were you already 6'7", or however tall you are?
I wasn't 6'7" yet.
Okay.
No, that came later.
Okay. And so, wow, so you moved you skied on water early on.
Yeah, so I lived in Merritt Island, near where my dad worked. My dad ended up working for the space shuttle. At 5 years old, I was already slalom skiing in the course. We actually started skiing with Lisa Harrison.
Okay.
And I remember to this day, like it was yesterday, this lake out there connected to the Everglades. And boy, did I see some scary stuff. And I'm serious. I felt stuff even under my ski, like brushed the bottom a lot.
Wow.
One day I am not even making this up, I saw an alligator. I was getting ready to go ski. I was 9 at the time. I saw an alligator spiral out of the water. The only thing that was barely touching the water was its tail, and it dove back in. I don't know if it was trying to get a duck or what it was, but I remember looking at my dad and my other friend Elmer Staley and saying, I am not going out there. No way.
Right. Like exposure from 9 years old to gators jumping out of the water.
I'll pass.
Okay. So, man, you're one of those that really started early. So I'm going to guess you don't remember your first set. I mean, you've seen the cassette tape when you were 2. Do you remember, what is the earliest set you remember?
Right now, at the top of my head, I remember some between, I think, 5 and 7 years old, skiing at Kiwanis Island, which was brackish water. Mm-hmm. Just hitting the wakes super high in the air and landing.
Right.
And I remember my dad saying, if you ski at PB today, I'll take you for a milkshake at Burger King.
Wow.
And that was kind of how that all kind of started with that.
Yeah.
And my favorite skier as a kid was Sammy Duvall.
Oh wow.
I actually wanted to be a pro jumper.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yep. And then as I got a little older, there's a guy named the Rocket Man that came along, rocking the Coors Light Team O'Neill jumpsuit, the Oakleys, and between him and Sammy, I just thought they were the coolest dudes in the world, and I wanted to be like them.
Right. And you jumped?
I did.
Yeah.
I used to ski a little bit with Carl Barish. When I was a kid. My dad would drop me off. I was like 10, 11 years old. My dad would drop me off at Carl's, and it was so cool, man. Like Wade Cox would show up every day, and he was an unbelievable overall skier.
Yep.
Remember? Yeah. He was.
We talked about it in his episode, actually. He was really good. He had this story of where he basically said that in the early days, he was better ranked in tricks than in slalom, which I told him, you're the only case I've ever heard of someone that wanted to be a slalomer and was a better tricker.
Yeah.
When does that ever happen?
No, for sure.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, I remember that like it was yesterday. I do. It's so crazy. I remember being on the dock, a little kid, making sure I wasn't letting these guys train, because you could feel the focus when they showed up.
Right.
And I remember seeing Wade jump and trick, and man, I'll never forget. Karen Ribeiros took me to Chili's. I was like 10, 11, 12 years old.
Right.
I'm like, man, this girl's beautiful and she can ski. Carl, even when I was young, he was already an absolute monster, a jumper already.
Yeah.
And that was really cool to train with him some.
Right. Isn't it funny how that works? Like, I think I can resonate with that. And some of the people I've interviewed for this podcast of like, you're young and you like the skiing, but then you stumble upon these people who are older than you, like adults, and they just make it so much cooler, right? Like Wade said how his uncle, who was like, maybe not Air Force, but like military,
Yep.
and he would come back and he would just rip buoys, right? It's funny how when you're a little kid, that just makes it so much awesome,
Yeah, it's powerful,
isn't it?
It's crazy. Just us talking, I start thinking about how blessed I am with all the skiers I got to ski with, and everybody was so great to me. Like I never felt uncomfortable anywhere. They were just awesome.
Yeah.
I have another really cool story.
Please.
I owe it to, and it's funny, I owe it to Dina at the time, Dina Brush. That was another part of my inspiration to become a skier. I'm pretty sure I was around 5 or 6 years old. I was hitting those massive wakes, and my dad took me to regionals, and Dina had won the overall.
Yep.
And somehow I was at the right place at the right time, and Dina took off her overall medal. I got chill bumps right now.
Wow.
Gave me a kiss on the cheek and gave me her medal. And my dad wrote a letter to Water Ski Magazine, and they posted it. Thank you, Dina Brush. And it was a picture of me turning the buoy at Merritt Island.
6 years old. That's cool.
Really, really neat.
That's really cool. Do you still have that article?
I do.
That's awesome. That's really, really cool.
Powerful stuff. You almost get kind of choked up talking about it, because it's like, man, that's just so powerful.
It is. I think this sport really gives you the opportunity to meet some amazing people that maybe other sports don't give you, right?
For sure.
And it's also that aspect of like skiing where I'm sure it happens to you too. Like, you may meet someone on the street or at a random non-skiing, environment, and then you find out they're skiers. Yep. Like there's that immediate trust, which sometimes might not be healthy. I don't know. Maybe this guy is a douchebag,
Yeah, exactly.
But he's a skier.
Right.
He's a skier, right? So I can trust, which is, it's just funny how that works.
Yeah, it really is. It's the people that are in our sport, even people that have their normal day jobs, or they're ex-pro athletes, or extremely successful business people that come into our sport. They seem like they're just wonderful people. And then the skiers itself that are in it hardcore are all just, I mean, how many sports do you see people that are willing to help each other like this sport?
Yeah, and I had a good conversation with Marcus of how possibly even more now that the sport is not as exposed, or there's not as much money in as there used to be, people are even more willing to help each other out, right?
I remember. Yeah,
because you came right at the end of those days, right? Yeah. And I want to get back to it.
Sure.
But
sure.
We sort of left you with 6, 8 years old.
Yeah, sorry, I got a little sidetracked.
No, it's all right. That's how this podcast works. There's no direction. We sort of figured it out.
For sure.
But one of the things that I want, because obviously you're like one of the best skiers of all time. Everyone would agree with that. And you had these key early moments. But what I would like to know is, when did you sort of realize that you were really good? Not when others were saying that. No, when you felt, okay, sure. I'm good.
No, I remember it clear as day, and I don't mean that in a cocky way, but I really do remember the winter I had with my dad at the house. The very first record tournament, first round I did was in Jacksonville, and I was 17 years old, and I ran 39. The first round I ran 2 at 41. I ran 1.5 or 2 at 41, and I ran it. I think I ran it. I think every round or most of the rounds, and I think right there I said, okay, I think I got it going on. And then that year at the U.S. Open, wow, this is a story and a half too. I got invited by Parker Overton to fly on his jet with Andy Mapple, Bruce Neville, Tony Neville, And if I left somebody out, I apologize. This is just so powerful. And he supported me, he sponsored me, and I got second at the U.S. Open.
Wow. Which at the time, the U.S. Open was that tournament that happened at Nationals, right? Or was it a separate thing?
I'm pretty sure it was a separate deal.
Okay.
I mean, it was a big pro event. I mean, I went in there on the jet. I mean, it was, my dad came.
Right.
I don't think we said 2 words on the plane. I mean, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, these guys are guys that I just think are, I mean, it was incredible. And then to top off that year, you know, I had that runoff in the dark with Jeff Rogers.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. People really still talk about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was an awesome year.
Is that the year that you won Junior Worlds in Shalom Park as well? Or was that the year before?
It might have been. Because I think that was like 97. So I don't know if that was the year of the Nationals that year or not. I can't. Things kind of get a little foggy as you get older.
That's all right. I'll refresh your memory. You won, and in the prelims, you did 3 at 39, which was 1 pass more than everybody else. You started at 32, kind of like unheard of at the time. And then you won with 3 at 38, last of the dock.
Wow.
That Worlds. And I know because Luca Mazza, a guy that skied with me, I mean, he was 16, I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I remember he went there and he got 3rd with 2 1/4. And then Terry got 2nd with 2 1/2.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all coming back to me
Yeah.
now. Gotcha. Yeah. Very cool.
That's when I first heard about you, because he came back. It was like, you'll never believe it, Matteo. There's this guy, US guy. You know, he did like 3 passes and 3 buoys. I'm like, 3 at 38, you know, like I'm into this. And then it turned out that he started at 32, you know.
That's cool.
So he's like, oh shit, we're skiing for second here.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
You know,
It was cool. Like, I remember my dad came with me. You know,
Yeah.
they have one of the biggest malls in the world there.
Uh-huh.
I remember
in Edmonton.
In Edmonton, yeah. I remember
Okay.
doing that with my pops, and then my mom got to go. We can maybe go back to this if you want to, but my mom got to go to the European tournaments when I was around that age.
Uh-huh.
Because my mom's, you know, half German,
Yep.
and my dad go to Mumbai or like, you know, Canada and stuff. It was
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, so your parents got to travel with you a fair bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Never forget my first Mumbai. My dad and I took a little walk on Bondi Beach. We didn't know about Bondi Beach. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Oh, man. When was your first Moomba?
Oh man, it's foggy. I think I've done like 12 or 13 Moombas. I know it was like probably mid-90s.
Okay. So you were in your teens.
I was in my teens. I know I won my first pro event was Moomba. And actually, this is a story I'd like to share if you don't mind.
Oh, but please, man. That's why I put you in front of a microphone.
No, this story is epic, and I'm high-fiving Mapple right now up in the heavens. But I broke my ski in the Oz ski finals. Did you ever hear about the Oz ski tournament?
No.
It was pretty cool, man. It was the outboards, right? Is that right?
Was it outboards?
Or Nautique, Mastercraft and Nautiques are the inboards or outboards? I feel
They're
stupid.
inboards.
Yeah, so it was an outboard, like I was thinking.
With the engine in the back.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, did you never heard about these stories?
No.
Yeah, so for years, like all the guys would go to this event and I'd hear about it with the outboard. Well, I think I went to one of the last ones.
Okay.
And I'm in the finals. I think I'm mid 39. I'm in the middle of the course and I'm going towards shore and my ski snaps.
Whoa.
And I almost slide right into shore. And I'm kind of bummed. I think I'm washing my ski off, my gear off. Mapple comes up and says, he's like, hey, Chris, don't worry about this. I've contacted Mick Neville's pro ski shop, and we're going to get you a ski right away for Moomba. I said, awesome. Okay, thanks, Andy.
Wow.
You know, like Andy Mapple saying this. And me, Pete Chase, and Greg Sund were traveling together, and we went to Jody Skipper's ski school in between there in Moomba. And so I get the ski from Mapple. I set it up. I remember this clear as day. I didn't run a bunch of short line skiing, I think, during that week with those guys, and we had a ball. I go to Moomba. First round, I run 39.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. I was like, I think like the third guy ever, maybe. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I think like the third guy to run 39 ever at Mumba.
Wow.
And I ended up being top seed in the finals. And I don't know if Mapple just had a bad start or what happened, but he ended up getting a full 3 at 39. Maybe the current was tough that year. And I remember this like it was yesterday. I just told myself, do your breathing, ski like Chris, do your movements, get a good gait, and you can do this. I mean, I remember this like it was yesterday.
Right.
And I just felt on when I left the dock. It was you know that, like, when you're on, you know it before you even get on the plane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just had this really peaceful feeling, and I won my first pro event, man. Last off the dock, it was incredible.
So your first pro win was Mumba.
It was Mumba,
That's gnarly.
and it was in the story how it happened is like incredible.
Yeah. What now? Thinking back on that tournament, what do you? Because it sounds like you got on the plane, knowing, right? What do you think brought it about? Was it that week where you're sort of skiing but not pressured? What was it?
I just felt, I don't know, I felt focused. I felt, I don't know, I felt kind of at peace in a way. I think when you're really in the zone, you almost feel at peace.
Oh yeah, that's a cool part about being in the flow, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
My gates were dialed. I remember like that was clear as day. My gates were super dialed. So I think I felt probably confident. And then, just getting that ski, I guess the stars kind of aligned for me. I had some good things kind of fall into place. And I ran that 39 in the prelims, and I think I just obviously had the confidence for the finals.
Yeah.
And the cool thing was, this is how awesome Andy was, man. I remember getting back home, and he goes, "Hey, man, come to my house. I want you to." He goes, "Bring your ski." And I went to his place. I pull in. He comes right out and he says, "Hey," he goes, "let's flex your ski." "Oh, okay, yes, sir. Okay, Andy."
That was after you won Mumba.
After I won Mumba.
So you guys came back to Florida and
yeah. True professional, Andy Mapple, like going, "Hey, come to the house. Bring your ski."
Right.
And flex the ski. And I'd never seen a flex machine, never knew about numbers.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
I'm watching him, man, like, holy cow. He's like, flexing it, do. Writes the numbers down, and he goes, "Okay, this is going to be your base ski from now on. These are your numbers. We're going to build off that. This is your base."
Wow. Which, I mean, fair enough. You want Mumba on that. Seems like a good base to start off with, you know?
That's true.
You know, like it seems like a good baseline, you know?
Pretty good baseline.
Exactly. Yeah, it works, you know? It worked, you know?
So thanks, Nick Neville, and thank you, Andy.
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
pretty cool.
Exactly. What was the feeling, though? Like, let's go back to Australia for a second. Like, so you were last off the dock. You won Mumba. Give me that experience. Like the first 10 minutes.
Unbelievable.
I
was on cloud 9 for 2 weeks. I mean,
nice.
It was, yeah. I mean, I just could not believe it. I mean, when you win, I mean, you just have that ultimate high, that ultimate incredible feeling through your body, and know that you accomplished something that, really, really great. And I think when you're younger too, you don't appreciate those wins as much as you do now, as I do now. I mean, I'm almost 41 years old. I appreciated it then, but it'd be different now in a way. It's kind of hard to explain, but I was really, really excited.
Yeah.
And I was glad to do it last off the dock.
Yeah, that's the best win, isn't it?
It's awesome.
It's the best win. And I think I can resonate with that. You know, like they're both amazing. Like winning at a later age or like in your teens, they're amazing, but for different reasons, right?
For sure.
Different reasons.
Absolutely.
Like, it's almost like you know more of what goes behind winning an event.
Yes.
But when you're a teen, you're like, you won, you're stoked, you worked hard, but there's so many other things. Like, you would have never thought about flexing the ski after you won Mumba. Now you get a quarter buoy more. You're like 7 hours taking notes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, yeah, that's age.
100%.
Yeah.
And you're right. And like, you'll laugh at this, and it's definitely not getting any easier. I mean, there's just so much talent out there, so many good skiers. The margins are so small, so tight. I'm just blessed to be fired up again and thankful to be out there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we love to compete against you and watch you, man. So, like,
Thank you, brother. Right back at you, man.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So, okay, you win Mumba. That's early in the season, though. You know, you come back that season. What happened next? Because obviously everyone is going to be talking about you. Like, you won, one of the big three.
Yep, that was an interesting year. It was the Mapple-Cox battles were really heated still. Really intense. I think the stop when we got back home was Mills Pond, if that's correct. That was in West Palm, Fort Lauderdale, right off the exit.
Yep.
I remember that was a really intense battle with Wade and Andy. I was in the hunt, but didn't win. And then I skied really consistent that year. I had a really good consistent year. But Mapple and Andy were still just going at it, man.
Yeah.
Sampras and Mackinac, is that right?
Yeah.
Or Agassi?
Yeah,
Sampras
yeah.
and Agassi?
Yeah, for sure. That's one of the biggest battles in the history of the sport, you know.
It was awesome.
What was your approach? Like, were you going there knowing that you could take them down, or was it one of those like, let's see if I can get third? You know what I mean? Which is not the right mentality, but it's understandable when you're skiing against. Like, there was a point where Wade and Andy were on a different league.
100%.
Right?
100%, man. I actually just try to work on my breathing. My gaits were a big thing, even way back then.
Yeah.
Really big deal. I was always very humble. I always just try to ski my best. And just had such incredible respect for Wade and Andy, and I realized how good they were.
Yeah.
I mean, the battles look at Wade. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but second winningest skier of all time in slalom during the Mapple era. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. And even more insane is that Andy had already gone through a cycle like that with the LaPoints, and then with Mike Schillander, and then again with Wade, so like he always had to, okay, I got these guys down, and this new kid shows up.
Yes.
Like it's insane.
No, incredible.
Yeah.
And like can we go to Bob LaPoint for a second?
Please.
So, the Bob LaPoint Mike Satterhound video, you've seen that?
Which one you're talking about?
The one that Bob and Mike Satterhound made together, and the very last pass, he goes, "All right, this is how you run 39."
Oh yeah. Of course, legendary video.
Yeah. So a lot of my skiing, from my dad, the people that he watched, Bob was 100% hands down one of the guy that I tried to emulate.
Right.
Very tall and very still.
Yeah.
I just, man, I love the way he skied.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, we're talking about like one of the greats, right?
For sure.
One of the greats. Yeah, no, but I mean, okay, but when was it? Because eventually you started winning more events.
My next win was Abbotsford.
Okay. What is that?
I think that was 2000, so the next year.
Okay, so you won Mumbai in 99. And then 99, correct me if I'm wrong, but you came to Milan for your first Worlds.
Yeah. That was intense.
Yeah, in Idroscalo.
Yep. That was intense. Top seed in the final. Mapple put it out there in the final, and just didn't have enough.
So what did you place that year? I can't
got
remember.
second.
So you got second in Milan and second in Recetto?
No, Milan. I'm sorry. I got second in Milan. I'm sorry. No.
Second
I got
in
Recetto, and I was top seed in Recetto.
Yeah.
Milan, I had my gates pulled.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
But in the finals or?
No, in the prelims.
Ah, okay.
A lot of gates got pulled. Mike Morgan's was pulled that. It was Mike's last
Last Worlds, yeah.
Worlds, and that was a disappointing Worlds for me.
Yeah. Was it your first one though, or?
No, my first Worlds was Medellin, Colombia.
Ah, so you skied the '97 Worlds. Wow.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Going to Colombia with my dad, and that was, the guerrillas. There was Escobar. It just been killed, and they had no leader. And I remember the guerrillas blew up the judges' tower.
What?
That week.
What?
Oh yeah.
Wow. What an introduction to Worlds,
Oh man, I was passing your seatbelt.
Wow.
It was wild.
Damn. Yeah, no, I remember the '99 Worlds when I was what? 11. So yeah, I remember I came to see the finals, but then I also remember oh yeah, and I saw you on the shore. And I realized, that's the guy that Luca talked about that did 3:39 at the Junior Worlds.
Oh, you saw me on the shore there?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And then obviously I watched the '01 Worlds. I was there for the finals. And I remember clearly, do you remember two things about you? Well, obviously, last off the dock in the final.
In Recetto.
Yeah. But even more, I remember that on a day in between prelims and finals, you ran 41 on Lake 3 in Recetto, which at the time was even shorter than it is now. No islands. So, like, it's short setup. Like, you start, you go. And I watched you from the peninsula between 1 and 2 running 41. And I was like, yeah, that's 41. That's 10 to 5.
I remember that. Yeah.
It was like a practice sec that you took in between prelims and finals.
That was a crazy year, dude. I lived in Charleston that summer.
Ah.
And
you're skiing a trophy?
Yeah, I was living there, and that was the year I was just running 41s every freaking day, all the time. It was just finally I had that breakthrough, because for a while it was a pass a year.
Yeah.
15, 16, 17, and then I had a couple years, and at 19 I just started just running 41 all the time.
Damn. In the early 2000s.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I remember like it was yesterday. I'm like, and it's not like I'm remembering but through my head I'm going, yep, I remember AccuSki.
Yeah.
The different cruise controls, even some manual driving.
Yeah.
Remember pulling into in there and seeing Andy Mapple's world record sign up. And I mean that in a really cool way. Not like I'm trying to take it down. Like, seeing that and I was working with Seth and Kim Bryant. Those were some really good times there, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Really cool.
Wow. And then the other thing that I remember from those Worlds was, I don't know if you remember, it was September, it was foggy, like in the morning. Like, you guys skied like late morning, but it was like a super foggy morning.
Yeah.
And me and my dad made the point of, like, we live about an hour and a half away from Recetto. We're like, okay, we're going to get there early. And we want good seats, between 3 and 4 ball, just like we want to watch the final at the Worlds. And we watched the women first. And there wasn't a lot of people yet there, because we showed up at 7:30.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There was one person.
Not loaded yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There was one person at the dock at Lake 2, just like, crossed arms, watching the lake, not saying anything. I'll let you guess who that was.
Mapple.
Yeah. It was insane. Just crossing legs, just looking around from the dock. Just fog, Nobody was there. The judges weren't there. Nobody was there.
Yeah.
He was there just like studying the lake. And wow.
He was the man. Yeah.
That was one of the things that, as a 12, 13-year-old, I'm like, fuck, I want to be like that.
Yeah.
One day, I just want to have that, like, kind of cutting edge awareness of what's going on,
Yeah. I had a question for you. Do you almost feel like, did he have that like an aura about him? He just had this whole, he was so professional and.
Well, I mean, I obviously my answer is biased, but I would say yes.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, obviously I knew who Andy Mapple was, but seeing that, and just the way he carried himself,
Exactly.
like, very professional, very, proper, but respectful.
Yeah, absolutely.
You would never, disregard a little chat. Like it was really cool.
For sure. He was very, I agree so much, man. He was very quiet to himself, but if you, like you said, come up and talk to him and chat, he was he was awesome.
Yeah, I remember asking for an autograph with my super broken English at 12 or 13 years old, and he just laughed at the situation, but not at me, and gave me an autograph. It was awesome.
That's cool.
It was really cool.
Do you have it? Where do you have it at?
At home. It's at home. Safe place,
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So, one of the things, like, you're widely regarded as, like, the most technically sound skier there is, right? Like, you'll ask anyone, and a lot of people will tell you, when I have an issue, I just go back to a video of Chris Parrish. Who were the key people that helped you develop your technique? If there are any that you can think about.
This is awesome. It's definitely, I'd say right away, my dad. Mm-hmm. In all seriousness,
yeah,
my dad used the space shuttle in correlation of slalom skiing, and I can explain more.
Please, because I'm a bit confused.
It's pretty awesome. So, when I was a little toddler, my dad realized, okay, well, the space shuttle comes in at 50,000 feet into the atmosphere. It's a glider, not on autopilot. The astronaut, the commander, the pilot's flying it, and it makes a series of S turns. Well, if there's energy there,
right,
and it's up to the pilot to do it right. And if the energy's right, it's a perfect landing. If the energy's wrong, you can undershoot or overshoot.
Right.
And he somehow figured out, okay, S turns, energy, space shuttle, glider, Bob LaPoint, Chrissy Overton, hand on the hip, a little bit aggressive like Waycocks. Just a few things that he kind of put together, and he kept it very, very, very simple. Even though my dad's pretty much a rocket scientist.
Yeah, pretty much.
He kept it so simple, and he always just talked about energy. His word really was energy management, and to stay still, hand on the hip, hips up on the turn. My eyes, my head, the reach. It was just a lot of really simple, fundamental stuff, but the word energy was always used a lot as well. Mm-hmm. And then I remember just a lot of positive motivation growing up.
Nice.
Like writing your goals down. He'd write on my handle, if you think you can, you can. You know you can, you will.
Wow.
Going to tournaments, positive motivational speakers on cassettes, stuff like that really made a big difference.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I'm going to have to ask you this because you know what my field is, but have you ever worked with a sports psychologist before?
No.
No, never?
I have not, no. I've always been really intrigued by it, but I never have.
Yeah, because, goal setting is a huge part of it, obviously. Setting proper goals and keeping good levels of motivation is important. Even, as you well know, in those days where you don't want to train, where you don't want to do travel again, when you don't really feel like testing yet another ski, but being able to stay motivated through those challenges, that it's key.
It's interesting you say that, because I remember there was a lot of days as a kid that I wanted to be a kid, and my dad would come home from work and he'd come down, you ready to ski? I'm just not feeling it today, Dad. And he never got upset, never got angry. He's all right, no problem. So he always kept it fun and light.
Wow, kudos to your dad, because that's you're in the sport as well, and I don't know that is a widespread way of parenting skiers nowadays. And it's a shame. It's a shame, because I think we see so much talent burning out and dropping out of the sport so soon.
I see it too. I do see it for sure.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that my dad had sort of like the same approach that your dad had. All right, well, when you want to do it, you do it.
That's awesome.
But when you want to do it, you do it seriously, right?
For sure.
That was kind of like the balance that he kept.
Matteo, I want to tell you as well, I agree with you so much about finding motivation. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's so powerful. We talked about The Rock earlier. I mean, I watched this. My wife's not even a skier, and I have YouTube to my TV,
Yeah.
and The Rock was giving this speech. She was ready to go to the gym. You know,
Wow.
it's just so, find that motivation
Yeah. That's awesome.
and harness it.
So your dad, but I know you've had multiple influences in your skiing over the
Yeah,
years.
sorry, there's definitely more.
Yeah.
Obviously, after my dad, Lucky took me under his wing,
Lucky.
which was awesome.
Nice.
One of the most dedicated ski coach I've ever seen.
Okay.
Just the time that he gave me and the sacrifice that he gave me, but just the time on the water and the time that we spent together was really, really powerful. But another guy on key basic fundamentals, and if you do it enough and do it right, and you recover right, and you sleep right, and you train right, you can be really, really successful. And that's probably the big thing that stands out with Lucky, and then that sacrifice that he gave me to get me out there all the time and do the right stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How old were you when you started skiing with him?
I think I was probably in my lower 20s.
Okay, so you're already pretty formed, developed skier, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you already won Mumba. You already, achieved a lot.
yeah. I was already number one in the world in the ranking list on the IWSF, and I remember seeing Lucky at Abbotsford actually, and he said, "Hey, come ski with me." And I actually went out there, and it was like super, super intense. And I was like, "I'm not coming back." And I remember to this day, he kept calling, and I was in the gym in the parking lot, and he says, "Come ski with me and give me another chance." And it was the best decision I ever made.
Okay. What give me a sense of how it is to ski with him. Like, what were the things that he would give you? Because it sounds like a lot of what he said is like fundamentals, like periodizing your training, so sleep, eat, ski when you have to, don't ski when you don't have to.
Eating at certain times, we had that so dialed, even like your eating habits, everything.
Okay.
But on the skiing side, tons of open water skiing, like so much. I already knew how to open water really well because of my dad, but we just took that to another level.
Okay.
Like just so much of that. A lot of drills. 1 ball starts, 2 ball starts, before the buoys. Going out cold at 39 off.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes it wasn't in the course, but sometimes it was. But go out in the boat, boom, you're right. He wouldn't even tell me until the last, okay, you're starting at 39.
As you were boating out?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's 39. Learning how to literally ski in ice cold weather. I'm not even saying whitecaps, Matteo. I'm talking swells, off the dock, tailwinds, 41s and 43s, and learning how to keep a tight line at the right width. Like that level.
Wow, that's intense training. That's intense training.
It gets me fired up just talking about it.
Wow.
I mean, just incredible.
Wow.
And he's so dedicated. He's like that now. I mean, I almost feel bad because he takes that heart and that passion to all the people that come there at all levels. And sometimes people don't know how to handle it, but he does that because he cares so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've heard he's done quite a bit of coaching lately.
Yeah.
There's a skier for Florida Southern, Kelly Breeden, who I coached quite a bit in Tallahassee until she went to Florida Southern, and she's been training with Lucky. And I had to call him and say, "Look, man, like whatever you did with her, good job. Like it's working very well." And he was stoked.
That is
but of
cool.
course, because like he cares about, it really always. I never skied with him, but he always strikes me as someone that puts heart and soul into what he does.
Yeah.
So naturally in coaching, that tends to work very well.
No, for sure. Absolutely.
Cool.
And then
yeah, who else?
I got to ski with Wade during the Monza days.
Yeah.
Which was really cool because
So mid 2000s.
Mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 07, something like
No.
that. 06, 07.
Yeah, I know. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. 06 or 07, yeah.
Yeah, with Monza, and that was really cool. he actually kind of opened my eyes up to the fitness world. You know, how to really train like an athlete off the water.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never forget that. Like Wade is very, very smart, and he knows how to train.
Yeah.
And I won't actually name names, but I know that he's helped some of the greatest skiers in the world right now make them a better athlete and a better skier and better off the water as well.
That's cool. Yeah, no, we had a good conversation with Wade. It's funny because like as we're recording this,
Yeah.
I haven't released Wade's interview yet, but it's coming out in a couple of days.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Okay.
and he does talk a lot about both like off the water, but also about like in water drills. You know, what did he call it? The cut and coast, or you know, like all these like gate 1-2, gate 1-2, or like. Which you obviously had already experienced with Lucky Sounds, but
For sure. Yeah.
that's always a challenge in our sport. It almost feels like we don't get to rep. It's not like a golfer that goes, okay, I'm just gonna go to the driving range and do some reps today. In slalom, it's a bit trickier to figure out how to do reps without actually getting in the course and running 6 buoys, right?
Right. Absolutely.
But these key people, like, they know how to do it.
Yeah.
They know how to do it.
It's amazing. That guy has such a feel still, and he's so smart, and he explains it so well, and he hasn't skied in X amount of years. It's incredible.
Yeah, Wade hasn't skied in ages.
No.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, pretty incredible.
Yeah. So Lucky, Wade.
Mapple.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Especially the first year, maybe 2, but I think the first year, because every time I went out there, most of the time he skied as well. So
wow.
Yeah.
What was that experience like training with Andy? Not just like getting coach, but like he's skiing and then you're skiing.
No. It was on another level.
Yeah,
I mean,
bet.
I don't think I saw him miss 41, but maybe like 4 or 5 times ever. Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, it was sick. And it didn't matter. I remember one time, most of the time he skied, it got a little windy, and he just said, you know what, you always give me the rough water. I'm thinking to myself, dude, you don't ever miss 41.
What do you want him more flat? Like, what are you looking?
Yeah, does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
But it was awesome, man. Like, just, you could go out and ski a pass and a half. Say you're on a new ski you're trying with him, and a pass and a half, he's like, get in the boat, do the fin. You go out, the ski is like a new ski. It's like magic.
Wow.
I mean, just incredible.
Interesting.
Yeah, his knowledge with skis and feel, and when he went out and skied, what he could feel. Sometimes on the ends, he'd open up what he felt, and I made sure I really listened because it was really cool to hear him talk about that. I'll say he didn't do it a lot, which is fine, but when he did, it was really cool. And he definitely pushed me. 100%. Just being around him elevated me. He pushed me. I remember one time we went to Acapulco. Sometimes Acapulco can be really good and sometimes a little challenging, which is fine. His worst score at 36 was 3 at 41 up the line every time. And his best score that trip was 5. And I really had to work for those scores. It was no joke at all.
Wow.
And he was in his mid 40s, I think. Mid upper 40s.
Yeah.
At 36.
That's insane. That's insane.
Well, dude, what about the Moomba he skied? The last Moomba, it's been what, 11 years?
Yeah,
Right?
it's been, yeah.
Something like that? 32, 38.
Yeah, I remember that.
Skied the big dog.
Yeah.
Doot. Got what, second or third?
No, insane.
So,
Insane.
Yeah, man.
And that's, I mean, Lucky, Wade, and Andy. Those are like 3 great, influences to have, to reminisce on. Like, wow, like these people made me who I am as a skier, as a person,
For sure.
Wow.
Do you want to hear my Bob LaPoint story?
Please.
This is awesome. So, a good friend of mine that's a really good friend of Bob's, we were going, you know what? Let's get Bob to come into O'Brien and help me maybe just get my skis to Ferrari level. have him come in and do some stuff and try to go for this world record. And I remember clear as day, I flew into Seattle. I'm sitting in the hotel room.
Right.
I got the bed next to the door, and I'm laying there. And I'm like, oh my God, Bob LaPoint is like literally on his way. And he's my roommate, and he's gonna build me skis. This is a freaking dream.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about the guy that has invented so much about what we use currently to this day, And you're gonna get to room with the guy, and he's gonna build a ski for you.
He's gonna build
That's
me
pretty dope.
Pretty dope, dude. An American icon.
Yeah, for sure.
I really Wade. You think Wade Cox and Bob? These guys are American icons. Crystal Point.
Yeah.
American icons, man.
Sammy,
Sammy, yeah. And so he walks in, and Bob doesn't say much, and I'm sitting there just kind of hiding under my covers. And I remember I had a ski against the wall, and he comes in. He's got those big burly hands, and he picks it up and he turns it down. He's like looking down the ski and says a couple things, and watches a little TV. We're in bed. Next, that's it.
Okay. You're probably in your bed, excited and confused.
Yeah, all the above, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And man, it was so cool. I remember we got up early, went to the factory, and he did some stuff, some calculations that morning. Ran some numbers. I didn't really ask any questions.
Yeah, right.
And man, he built me some skis, and I remember like going to dinner with him. Finally one night, and we had a couple drinks, and man, he kind of just opened up to me, and we just had an absolute blast. He was so awesome.
Wow.
I mean, he was just a big teddy bear, man. It was Bob LaPoint,
Right.
Just couldn't believe it, and ended up breaking 2 world records on that ski that he helped me with.
Damn. And it was an O'Brien ski?
He was the Royal O'Brien Sixum.
Oh, wow.
Incredible.
Yeah, no, of course. That ski made you, you were amazing on the 6M.
That ski was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that ski for the first week.
It's funny that you say that. I had the same, I made a breakthrough with that ski in my juniors.
Really?
And for the first week, Fabio Ianni was skiing on the 6M.
Okay.
And he gave it to me. He said, I think you should try it. It was the 67.5.
Yep.
And I was skiing on HO Phantom, And I tried the 6M. I'm like, this feels like shit. I'm not running my passes, And he said, just stick with it. Just stick with it, and
Keep
you're going to ski well.
riding.
And that's the ski that I ran my first 39 on.
Seriously?
In tournament. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. First 39, I was 19. And it was on the 6M.
That is so cool.
I was like that. And you know what's funny? You're related for different reasons, completely different reasons, but you're related to the 2 skis that personally made me do breakthroughs, which were the 6M and the A1.
You're blowing my mind right now. I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
There's a lot of connections between the 2. There's Bob, there's you,
I think I'm feeling some Omega. Some Omega love right now.
Yeah,
I think we're feeling some Omega stuff coming on. That's awesome, dude.
That's crazy, yeah. That's crazy.
Wow, what a story that is.
And a lot of the A1 was the first semi-tunnel again after the 6M.
Yes.
Right? Because apart from the 6M, there weren't any semi-tunnels. And then
you
the
nailed
A1
it. You nailed it. It was basically like a hybrid of the 6M. It was the kind of its own little deal, and it was, Will Asher called it Betty, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
He killed it.
Will killed it on that ski. Killed it.
He did, man.
Yeah. Into 2 ball at 43 at Elysee Cup.
Yeah.
You remember that shot that Vincent took when he was like 14 or 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing shot. You just see him stretch the ski and the buoy.
Incredible, man.
Yeah.
That was one dude that can throw it down back then at 41.
Yep.
And obviously he can now.
Yeah, no, of course. Of course.
So.
And you actually won the last Elysee Cup that we've ever had.
I remember.
What a tournament that was.
Yeah, no, that was a good time. I'm ready to go back.
Oh, man. I know. Me too.
That was incredible, man.
Part of the reason why I started my pro tournament was in the hopes, well, obviously highly inspired by the Elysee Cup. because that was the first pro tournament I've ever skied. And when we stopped having pro tournaments in Europe for a while, the 3 tournaments that I sort of got inspired from in terms of like shaping up my event, Alizé Cup, Malibu Open, Diablo Pro Shores at the time.
What?
So those are the 3 tournaments that I said, okay, I want to take what I believe is the best out of the 3 and create my own event, you know?
That is awesome.
You know?
That's what you were inspired by. That's really cool.
Because in Alizé Cup, I mean, you know, the eye of the tiger every time you went to ski. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
that was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that tournament? Yeah, you won. You won.
Awesome.
Night final, pretty big check. You know, it was the biggest tournament of the year, maybe of all time in slalom. It was something crazy.
Yeah, and then Ferrari was the sponsor.
Yeah.
And
they had so many high-level sponsors. Yeah.
The oil guy, was it the oil guy?
He was the main sponsor, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, that was unreal, man. And I just couldn't believe. I actually talked to a couple skiers from the area just not that long ago. Like the restaurant there.
Oh yeah, because they had just finished building that 5-star hotel on the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Swiss Alps, right?
Yeah. It was amazing.
Just incredible, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a new bucket list, by the way.
Okay.
I am gonna have fondue in the French Alps.
Well, listen, man. I just happened to have a tournament in Italy, and it's not that far away.
It's not?
No, dude, it's like 4 hours. Like, I live an hour and a half from the Alps. It's not the Swiss Alps, it's the Italian Alps, but it's the Alps anyway.
It's game on, dude. Because I think I'm going to bring Park. Park and I just talked about it again. So
yeah.
That might have to happen then.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, and that goes to show you, like, how, you know, I told you this story. I think it'd be cool to share. You know, so I've had my pro tournament for 6 years, 7th next year. And, you know, we've had a lot of success, you know, like, the tournament is sustaining itself, so it's going to continue for ages. We've had 41s ran. We've had, you know, massive head-to-head battles. Mm-hmm. And I told you the story. I told my dad, what is missing that? Like, because my dad always told me, you know, we make a small step every year, but every year, you know. So last year, I'm like, Dad, what is missing? What is the next step? He said, I want to see Chris Parrish skiing in San Gervasio. That's what is missing, man.
Holy cow, man. That is so awesome.
Well, it goes to show you, like, you know, how big of a name. You are inspiring, you know?
Well, I appreciate that, man. I want to give your dad a big high five. That's really cool that he said that. That's really cool.
He's not as tall as you. You'll have to bow down a little bit, but, you know.
Well, I think 2020 is in the making for your tournament next year and some other big ones. And
a lot of pro tournaments next year, actually.
Man, that's inspiring. How can you not be inspired by that?
I know.
You know how I saw it, Matteo? I was watching Freddie on the interview with Marcus, and I was like, he was saying about the stops next year. I was like, man, it seems like there's a really good spark in our sport right now with events. So many dudes are killing it and skiing well. It's so competitive. I'm telling you, the sport is just, slalom skiing is freaking awesome right now.
And I would say, it's kind of like it's been building up in the last 2 or 3 years. And I would say both at the pro level, at the amateur level, you know, like, I don't have the numbers with me, but we have a ski school in Italy, for instance.
Right.
And I spoke to other ski school owners in the US, in Europe, like in Australia. Seems like they're working more. You know, they're pulling more rides.
Yeah.
You know? What do you think? Why do you think that? What happened in the last 2 or 3 years?
My 2 cents, and I feel like the people for a while that left slalom skiing, that did wakeboarding, wake surfing, all the above, have finally gone, you know what? Maybe I'm going to go back to my slalom ski, and maybe the push, for example, like the push that Marcus has done, he has been unbelievable of his vision of making water skiing grow. I gave a humongous high five to Marcus with that, and I told him that.
Yeah, he
is such a huge push on that. And my good friend has a saying, things always, as you say it, like things always come back, or things come back full circle.
Yeah,
you know, maybe that circle is coming back, 'cause I feel it.
Yeah, and it's cool to hear it from you, because you became good at a time where the sport was still living off of the glory of the 80s, right?
Yes.
And as you became like at the top level, it went down.
It was already starting to go down, but I
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa, this is unbelievable!" I didn't know any better.
Right.
Yeah,
And now it looks like it's climbing back up. I mean, we're gonna have like probably 5 or 6 pro tournaments in Europe, 5 or 6 in the US. Then you'll have Mumba. You know, like there's so many great events next year.
yeah,
You
no,
know?
for sure. And not to be negative, but I'm just being for real here. Like there was a time not long ago where I was like, I don't know if slalom's gonna make it. I don't know if there's gonna even be skiing next year.
Yeah.
And luckily, there's some people that have helped keep our sport going. You know, these great, like we talk about, these great people that just feel it and help out that because they love it and they want to do it, and all the above. It's just I really feel like there's just a resurgence right now.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are noticing that. You know,
Yeah.
like you see it on the calendar of the pro tournaments, you see it on the, you know. I think the only thing that is missing right now, and I hope it will happen, is like an actual tour, right? Because right now we have a lot of pro tournaments
Yeah,
with organizers that are trying to make it. You know,
Yeah.
they find their own sponsors and they make it, and it has been working. Like, you know, we had 6 only like 5 years ago, 4 years
Right.
ago, and now we have 14.
yeah,
right?
we were able to
You
get
know?
through that.
But it is not really centralized. There's nothing really that pulls them together. There's not a bonus at the end. There's not a major overarching sponsor or 2 or 3, you know. So maybe that's the next step.
I'm with you. We need like a Top Golf or a Red Bull or someone to come in, like you're saying, and do an actual tour.
Yeah.
And give us another shot.
Yeah.
You know? And I think, you know, we all have such great personalities.
Mm-hmm.
We have such an amazing sport. And I'm saying this to my own self. I have to do a better job of promoting myself and showing just little things that I do and who I am.
Right.
And I think that'd be really cool to see more of us do that.
Yeah, no, I think that's not an easy skill, right?
No.
Some people are better than others, you know,
Yeah.
at showing who they are, what they do, and the sport itself, right?
Right.
Because that kind of like who you are and what you do, a huge part of it, not everything, but a huge part of it is being a skier and doing water skiing, right?
Right.
So people follow you and they get exposed to the sport.
Yeah.
Like I think one of the, you know, in my little thing doing this podcast, one of the best thing I've ever had were people emailing me, you know, and saying, hey, I just randomly stumbled upon your podcast and I haven't skied in 15 years. And now I just found a place next to where I live and I'm going to strap the ski on
Seriously?
and go ski again.
You've seen that kind of happen and unfold, huh?
Yeah. Like I got a
Wow.
few emails like that, you know,
That is so cool.
you know, so isn't it cool?
It's awesome. It's awesome when it works that way.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah, and I think like also promoting ourselves in a better way can lend to that, you know,
For sure.
can lend to that as well. And you know how it is, like, you know, yeah, free skiing is unbelievable and I love it, but there's just something about when you turn that first buoy or you're on your first pass that just hooks you for life, you know.
I hear you, man. For sure.
It's
That gets me fired up just talking about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, it's awesome.
yeah, it is.
Do you ever watch any of the downhill Super G and snow skiing?
Oh yeah, it's big at home.
Is that not incredible? Is it big in Italy?
It's massive in Italy. You know,
Really?
like obviously we're next to the Alps and you see it on TV. Like in national TV, you can watch the World Cup. Yeah,
Really? No, I think that's an incredible sport too, man.
isn't it?
I never tried it. I just snow ski for fun every once in a while. Mm-hmm. Man, is it unreal? Do you ever do it?
You'll laugh at this. I've never put snow skis on in my life, and
Really?
I had so many opportunities. But
Yeah.
I just snowboarded.
I got to
Weird.
ask. That's weird. I got to ask Jamie Bull this summer at Jack's, and she was telling me that she had to make a decision to be a GS skier or a slalom skier. And then I said, "Can I ride in the boat and watch you slalom?" She goes, "Sure." And she ran 39.
Wow.
And I was like, I watched her movements, and man, can that girl ski?
My God.
Man,
Yeah, no, amazing.
Incredible.
And then, you know, like extremely hard worker. I think we were talking with Will 2 or 3 months ago. I mean, it was like right at the time where she did the under 21 world record at the Worlds at Shalom Park.
yeah,
And we were like, okay, so what, you know, because she's obviously part of the syndicate team. We're like, what can we do to help, you know? And we sort of said, kind of continue doing what you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
Make sure you're not a good ski, You know,
Yeah.
because like she's technically sound, she's young, she's strong, precise, work ethic. Like I mean, amazing.
For sure. It
You know?
shows. Yeah, it shows. Just I could tell just her. You could just feel her passion in her focus and her energy, and she couldn't wait to ski. I remember like JT and I skied, and she wanted to take a day off because she was a little sore, and she just almost had to go out there and ski. So the next day I went out there again and skied, and she skied, and I saw her from the boat for the first time, and man, she is an incredible technician, and she's very strong.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, it's exciting to see. And, you know, obviously Malibu Open, like she made it to the final, you know, like it was amazing.
I was pumped for her, and it was cool to see Regina be such a class act with Jamie too. That was really nice to see that with Regina.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. True, yeah, because it was head-to-head final on top of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really want to see women's slalom. I think it can be really, really, really exciting next year. I mean, there's 4 girls right now that I can think of that can really make women's slalom really, really exciting.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, you know, nothing to take away from them. But this year, my pro event, I had none of them, or maybe one,
Yeah.
just because of injury, travel, didn't want to come, whatever. And so the bar was like your 2-3 at 39, but you had like 10 girls there. And the crashes, the fighting for the extra quarter buoy, it was
Really?
amazing.
Wow.
Amazing. Honestly, it was battle big time, you know?
You're making me think of the difference, and nothing against the NFL guys, because those guys are warriors, and I love the game. But like the college guys, that extra.
Yeah.
Is that a good example?
I think it's a good example.
You know what I mean?
I think it's just competition, you know?
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I am a big supporter of women pro skiing, and you know, like I am to this day I'm the only one that is doing pro women in Europe.
Really?
None of the others are doing it. I think
not
next
doing
year we'll have a couple of extra.
Nice. Okay.
And I stuck to it because I'm like, okay, if I keep doing the tournament, the girls are gonna train and they're gonna come and do it.
Yeah.
You know? And I've had years that would have better numbers and years where I had lesser numbers.
Right.
But I mean, especially now you have, you know, Ali, Jamie, Bailey, Sam, who actually won.
That's right.
Paige,
Yeah.
you know, like these girls that are knocking at the door,
For
you know.
sure.
So
Absolutely. I saw, actually ended up seeing the it was Amber Frank and
Sam, in
Sam.
the final.
Right? It was
Yeah,
awesome, dude. And
you know.
they were going for it, like you're saying.
No, it's cool.
Yeah,
No,
it's awesome.
So yeah, let's make a call for all those other European organizers. Put women's slalom in your tournament.
Let's do it, man. Let's find some outside sponsors, and let's keep this awesome mojo going, man. Because you can definitely tell we're all kind of feeling this resurgence with slalom skiing.
Yeah,
I think it's
absolutely.
awesome.
No, we do feel it in the amateurs all the way up to the pros. You know.
For sure.
Is that? I'm assuming, just knowing you, that's one of the big reasons why you're still out here turning buoys, training hard, going to the gym, figuring out skis. What else is there? Is there anything else? Like, because you look pumped to ski.
You can tell.
Like
Can you?
like we're at the boarding school right now. That's
Yeah.
why we're doing this interview. And you showed up with your ski like a 13-year-old at a candy store.
Yeah.
How do you manage to keep that going? What is it?
Well, it's funny. Like some of my close friends make fun of me, but I wake up at like 4:30 in the morning. You know, if I get up at like 5:30, it's like sleeping in. I
Okay.
wake up like that. It's before coffee. I wake up happy. I'm ready to go. I find things that inspire me, but there's times I listen to my body and my mind if I feel things aren't right, and I'll follow my heart, my soul, and I'll walk away like I did a little bit. But the fire is there, and if the fire is there, why not enjoy it? I've done skiing, obviously, I've heard all my life, and
What's fueling the fire right now?
I'm very competitive with myself.
Okay.
I love to challenge myself. I want to see what CP can do in 2020, and I'm definitely gonna give it a go for sure, and really put my heart and soul into it
Nice.
because the fire is there.
Nice. So it's like sort of like where can I be next year? Like
Yeah.
almost like an open book.
Yeah,
That's cool.
for sure. And how can I not? I have a wonderful wife. I have great people around me. I got some good sponsors. This HO thing was huge for them, giving me another chance. It's been awesome. It's just really cool.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to explain in a way, but I'm definitely feeling it.
And for me it's so cool to see because obviously I watched you as a kid when you were already at your prime, or not at your prime necessarily, but you were fucking running buoys at 41 or running it, you were one of those guys that we would go back to ski school and just study the video and try to figure out what to do.
That's cool.
And then we were in California 2 months ago and just see you so stoked about testing skis. Something that, to be honest, by now it could be a bit of a routine that you sort of have to do.
Yeah.
But you were like in it for 3 straight days.
Thanks, man. No, it's crazy. It's even more now. I don't know. It's crazy.
It's awesome.
It's awesome, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, just going to be a fun season, hopefully. Just stay healthy and stay fit and keep working hard. And I'm loving that new 68 I got.
Yeah, nice.
That's been good. And
anything like any keys that you're sort of working on right now in your skiing that you want to share?
yeah, I mean,
Because
that's a great question. I don't mind sharing.
Because
Yeah.
for outside viewers, like what the hell does Chris Parrish have to work on in his technique? But I know it's not like that. You're obviously always trying to refine, retune, make
For
it
sure.
better. Like, what? I'd be curious to hear. What are you working on?
No, and when I say this first part, I don't want people to take it the wrong way because I don't mean it like this, but I feel like with zero off, it took me a little time to get to do it, but now it's pretty good. But I'm trying to make sure that I ski really, really efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Ski efficient. Keep it simple, but also like go out, like every day's a new day. Like go out there and make it fun by like working on something else. That's been kind of like something new to me lately. And I've kind of learned that from some other great athletes that are in our sport, that they find ways to make it fun or inspiring or motivational. So there's an answer or a question you asked me earlier. So now I'm like trying to keep it simple, but also like get better every day.
Yeah.
Or work on something.
Is it something that you decide like early on in the day? Well, I'm assuming you decided before the set, like, okay, I'm going to go and work on this.
That's a great question. I actually do that on my ride home the day before.
Nice.
Yep. I have this nice drive home. I'm always by myself. Got my stick figure reggae going.
Okay.
Sometimes the coffee.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, what can I work on tomorrow? All right. I'm rushing my freehand on my offside. I'm rushing it too fast. So it's making me kind of fall into the line and early. Make sure I keep that hand calm, let everything come through, and then just get that freehand back to the handle slow. Mm-hmm. It's one of the things I've been working on lately.
Okay.
And it's crazy when I've done it, it's like the sport is like a different sport, a different pass. I'm like, completely makes the other side and like the rest of the course just completely a different world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's crazy, this sport, isn't it? Like, it's from an outside viewer, it's simple. When you're doing it well, it feels simple. But when you're trying to improve something, you can go down to the deep ends.
You can.
Right?
It can be deep.
It can be deep.
For sure.
Right?
Yes. Very deep.
Very deep.
Yeah.
But then the challenge is like, okay, how do I bring it back to be simple? Like.
Yes. Yeah, it can get deep for sure. And yeah, it's to me, I'm almost 6'6". I'm 200 something pounds, so I've got to be efficient. So
right.
One of my biggest keys is definitely my gait.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the right position, the right stack of where I want to be with my body over my ski, and then make sure my keys on my pullout are right, and then absolutely 100% I'm in the right spot over my ski on my gate, and I'm going a certain speed over my gate when I turn in. If I have that part going, I'm off to the races. And then if I have my keys that I'm working on, if that mojo's going, then I'm really off to the races. And then I get a ski that's really, really working for me for my size, my power, my strength, my leverage, blah blah blah. If that starts working really well, then I'm really off to the races. Then the wheels just start turning. And I want to get that feeling back. I mean, LaPoint's, I ran 2 at 41 twice, so I tied my best score of the year. I ran 2 at 41 at Nationals on the 67 Omega. I hopped on the 68 at Marcus's.
Yeah.
I ran 2 at 41 twice. I was really pumped. And then I told myself at the Boris's tournament, I want to ski at least one buoy better than what I've done all year. I went there, 32, 35, 39, 3 at 41 tailwind, super pumped. What can I do better? Went back the next day, up the line, 32, 35, 38, 39, 4 at 41, but I just missed the boat guide, so I got 3.5.
Oh, wow. You got a 3.5.
3.5.
Dude.
I was super pumped, man.
Hell yeah.
It was my last round of the year, so I took that. I'm just like, man, I'm telling you, I was like, this is what I want, you know?
Yeah. So now the challenge, I guess, is how do we carry that into 2020?
Well, yeah, I tell you, ski with some guys that are really good. I think that's been pretty cool.
Yeah, that's important, isn't it?
It's been awesome.
It's important.
I've told a few people, I said, I haven't really had this opportunity until I had that opportunity with Mapple. When he skied with me that first year, that push, that focus, that intensity, that level of skiing, it's just been really great lately. So it's been awesome.
No, I think it's important, especially in a sport like ours, which is individual, and you can get down to those deep ends. Sometimes it's just nice to have that like sort of raw energy. You're skiing with someone that skis, I don't know, 3 or 4 at 41 off the dock, and then you have to ski. There's nothing at stake. You're working on your own shit.
Yeah.
But you want to get 3 or 4 at 41.
For sure.
So, I think that's healthy motivation there.
It's what's really cool that I've noticed the last couple of years, and I'm not sure if like right now it's still the same, but I follow some of the wakeboarders. And it was like Harley Clifford, Dirty Mike Dowdy, and it might have been like Nick Rappa or Noah, one of those. It was like 3 of the best dudes in the world, and these guys are training together and helping each other, and like the mojo's good, and it's real, and it's like they really want to see each other wakeboard well. I was like, that is badass, because all that's doing is making each other elevate together, and I was like really intrigued by that, and I've got to ski with some guys this year, man. It's just been awesome. It's been really, really good for me, man, and everybody's been so welcoming and like open arms and very cool, and we're all helping each other. It's been awesome.
Great. Want to give some shout outs?
Sure. Yeah. I want to thank HO Skis, my big personal sponsor, Roger Dean, Park Miller and Patty Dean, my parents, my lovely wife, Kayla, Optima Batteries, Flow Grown, my little French bulldog, Chevy, who runs around the house like a madman, so I'm always moving around. Got to ski with John Travers this summer.
Nice.
I want to thank him.
Nice.
And Jack Leilani.
Oh, they're great folks to ski with.
Unbelievable, huh?
Yeah.
Great people.
Centered, very. Yeah, it's
very,
true.
very centered. John's awesome. I really love that guy, man. Got to ski with Will this year. I think it was like the week of the Masters or the week before the Masters. That was awesome. He was just so focused. It was really cool to feel that from him. He's helped me this year with the Omega. He's been awesome. Yeah. I know he probably has with you.
Yeah.
And then the boarding school. I mean, geez. Travis has been awesome. Been able to ski with Freddie a lot lately. And it's just been unreal. It really has, man. He is one badass slalom skier.
Yeah.
He is really, really good.
Yeah, Freddie's good.
And he's a really cool guy. And I really respect him because he is who he is, and you know who he is, and that's where he stands. And it's been a lot of fun, man.
Cool.
So,
dude, I don't know. I think well, first of all, anything else that we didn't talk about? Like something you wanted to touch on we didn't touch on?
I think I'm good. I do want to. Back to Wade. Wade
Yeah.
was a huge help this year.
Yeah.
He, not only for me, but just for the team as team manager. I mean, the guy would drive from wherever he was, a big distance. His passion and his energy and his dedication to help me if I wanted it, or the skiers, or he'd come and watch me and Jamie and John, like just the energy he gave. And he's really helped me on some gates this year and some stuff. And I want to give him a big high five as well.
Nice.
And now that you're asking me, big high five to Marcus Brown and Jen LeBas.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Dude, I've kept in touch with Jen and them since that trip.
Yeah.
They are rock stars.
They are. They really are.
They are wonderful. The compound, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of had my mind blown on that trip and that whole experience with the team, and got to meet Rob Hazelwood for the first time.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
What a ripper, huh?
What a ripper, and what a great kid, man.
What did he take, like 27 sets in 3 days?
That's about right.
You know?
Yeah.
Flew in from London, like jet lag, screw that, like ski, you know?
Yeah. Also, big shout out to my boy Jarrett Steele in Colorado. He literally came down 2 years ago, brought his whole family down as a little kid to get his skiing better, and he trained with me. I didn't even charge the dude. I said, man, just come on.
Yeah.
He went from like running 32, kind of scrappy, to running 38 off. And now he's got his website, Water Ski Company.
Ah, okay. Oh, yeah, I've seen it before. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really think that's cool that he's doing that, because he's just trying to do something nice for the sport and something that he really loves. Jairus loves to ski. He's a software programmer. He's an engineer.
Ah, okay.
So he loves it. So big shout out to him with his support.
Isn't it cool how, like, so it seems to be so ingrained into water skiers to wanting people to water ski. And I don't think it's that common in other sports. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's other sports like that. But to my knowledge, like, I don't know of any other sport that, like, when you ski, you want people to ski as well. You know?
Wild, isn't
you
it?
want promote it. Like, your friend in Colorado is doing it because he hopes that more people are going to ski.
Exactly.
I'm doing this thing because I'm hoping more people are going to ski.
That's
you know,
right.
like,
to hear your story about the that's really cool about the downloads. I'm actually going to share that with some of my friends.
yeah.
How that there opened up another door
Yeah.
to help. That's really cool.
Yeah, no, I've had I mean, this podcast has been received very well, but like the ones that tell me, you know, like I got back into the sport, or I just started the sport and I heard this, I'm gonna go and buy a new ski now.
Yeah,
You know,
for
that's
sure.
good for the sport.
It's
you
so
know?
awesome, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
really
that
cool.
that mojo, that full circle, that energy, that mojo that we're just sharing with everybody, and it just starts building, and it just
Yeah.
keeps the momentum keeps getting better and better. I also want to thank my buddy Eric Anderson at Topgolf.
Yeah.
I met him actually at Dream Week in Mexico. If you have a second, I'd like to share this story because it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, we have time.
Do you have time?
Yeah, we have time.
So
man.
I get there, and it's Mapple, Nate, Will, T-Gas, and myself.
Pretty stacked dock.
Pretty stacked dock.
Oh my god.
Dream Week.
Okay.
The guests had to pay a little more, but they weren't complaining.
I know. I bet they weren't.
Yeah, that week it was
Oh my
awesome.
God.
It was so freaking rad. Mapple won the first round.
Okay.
He led the round. So that middle of the week, this guy at breakfast I don't recognize that hadn't been there. It's this guy, Eric Anderson. I'm like, who are you, dude? What's up? And he's like, I'm Eric. I'm Bill Gates' neighbor. I'm the chairman of Topgolf. And I'm like,
What?
what? And I'm going to go ahead and say this word. He goes, by the next day, I was Captain Flipper Dick. And he was Flipper Dick. Somehow he ended up calling me that. He was like the coolest, really like nerdy, fun guy.
Wow.
If I have this wrong, I apologize. I think the purse was around 10 grand or so. It built a little bit during the week. By that morning of the finals, the purse was $35,000 thanks to Mr. Eric Anderson and Gordon Rathburn.
Wow.
So that's my buddy Eric. Big high five, man. You're awesome.
Wow. Well, that seems like a proper shout out. Yeah.
Big time. So, and Eric loves to ski. He was very close with Andy. It'd be really cool to get him involved with some of the stuff that we've talked about a little bit outside the podcast for some sponsors. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, Eric, I'm sending you this podcast once it's done.
Well, listen, CP, thank you so much for doing this. It's a pleasure, true pleasure to sit down and talk with you. And even more of a pleasure to see you at tournaments next year, now that you're healthy and training. And and compete against you and have fun. I'm really looking forward to this.
Thank you so much. This has actually been, for me, this has been awesome. It's been so fun to talk about this, some of my skiing stories, and I really appreciate you having me on. This has been awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, no, maybe we'll do it again next year and check in on you, you know?
Would love to. Thank you, brother.
All right. Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Holy shit, dude. That was awesome.
What do you think? I thought it was a grand slam. I could be saying too much, but I thought it was a grand slam.
No, it was solid. It was solid. You enjoy it?
Oh, I thought it was freaking I don't even know how long we talked.
An hour 25.
It seemed like 45 minutes.
Sweet.
Holy cow! Did I do okay?
Dude, you did very well. It was awesome.
It was. It was actually good to talk about this stuff, man.
Yeah,
I kind of needed that.
It's good. No, that's what a lot of people say when you put them in front of the mic, you know.
Wow.
And you notice, like, because a lot of people, when I started this, like, because I did the first episode just saying, hey, I'm doing this, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, don't be afraid to go long, right? Don't be afraid to go long, and it's true. The first 20 minutes you're sort of getting warmed up, you know, and then eventually gets really good.
Yeah.
Like when we talked about the fire, you know, what is it fueling in it? What's going on?
You felt the focus? Yeah.
Well, we felt it too, right?
Yeah.
Like we were like, okay, we're getting deep now. It was awesome.
That's cool, man. Well, can I tell you something off the record?
Yeah, sure. Let me make sure.